Spontaneous Singularity is a new augment for the Simulor available from the Nightwave that looks very, very fun. It does prevent your orbs from bouncing or creating vortexes, but it makes any orbs that hit enemies explode with bonus damage and gives them a chance to create a Singularity that pulls enemies into it. And I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to try it out, so let's give it a shot and see if it's any good. Shall we? I mean, it sounds really good, and I'm glad it works on the Synoid as well. Orbs that strike targets will explode immediately with 90% bonus damage, and an 18% chance of a Singularity that pulls in more targets. Yeah, that does just sound great. There isn't much we can do with the arcanes here, like I guess Frostbite would work. That'd be kinda neat, if we can squeeze in Cold. Blight might work too, but I think we're just gonna go with Merciless. Let's get some multi-shot. I don't think Galvanize Aptitude works because it is an explosion, so let's skip that. Let's actually test it because I don't know like how this affects the normal trade and the crit and stuff, so let's try it. What do you do, my dude? Yeah, so it just straight up explodes. It's kind of pretty with these colors though, isn't it? Oh, here comes the Vortex. Not Vortex, sorry, Singularity. That's actually really neat. Ooh, I like it, that's cool. Okay, let's finagle the form around a little bit. I guess you go into a dash for now, Corrosive and Blast just makes the most sense for this kind of build, especially with all that electricity that we have. Hold up, we could actually go primed cry rounds for Big Blast. And this will allow us to utilize their D. Look at that, we're doing stuff. Oh, Jesus.
Glum!
That's Pride. Yeah, that's Simulor, alright. The single target is kind of ass, but the clear seems to be fantabulous. Let's run Elementalist and hope the punch through... Oh, never mind, the punch through is actually locked at 0. Maybe we could just run Hammershot. We don't have enough mod space to do full crit, but I'm seeing quite a decent amount of crit, so maybe the passive does work. Oh, hell yeah, look at that, dude! That is some serious damage, my dudes and dudettes. Wowee. Methinks we might have a build. Let's add the boy. Yes, let's go. That's so good. Also, I do not have emerald shards at the moment. I put them on Oraxia, so we are not fully stripping them with corrosion. This is sick. Me likey. I am very pleasantly surprised by this. This is actually great. It does need some projectile speed though, so we're gonna have to put on terminal velocity. The range without it is just pathetically short. I wasn't entirely sure whether this augment was gonna be good or not, because normally with the Simulor, like most of the damage comes from stacking the orbs, because the more you stack, the bigger the explosion. This seems like a much better way of doing things though, because even if it wasn't quite as strong, if the damage was slightly lower, which I don't think it is, it's far more playable. I'm still not entirely sure whether the crit increase from shooting through orbs actually works or not, because most of the time they explode. Because sometimes it seems like we crit, like now, a lot more, and other times not so much. Yeah, the single target is not going to win any prizes. I don't think there is much we can do about that. It's just gonna be mediocre. For a single target, the clear is great though. Oh, I am a dum-dum. Where is it? Yes, I do have Arcane Avenger. That's why I see a lot of crit sometimes. So yeah, the passive crit probably doesn't work. Well then, let's get rid of that hammer shot and get terminal velocity for the extra projectile speed. That's gonna give us a ton of extra range. What do we put here though? Big Boom? I think we're gonna go for Big Boom. And the fall off is 60%. That's quite hefty. I don't think we can actually fix the single target. It's just gonna be mediocre no matter what, so we might as well just focus on a Big Boom, right? If in doubt, Big Boom. So let's switch you into a V. Big Boom achieved. Yeah, it's a Big Boom, alright. Holy
Clem.
Look at that. That is just downright comical. Holy hell. Yeah, especially versus the shield boys. Also, I think this has the best Syndicate effect as well, because if I remember correctly, the Synoid effect is the energy restoration and like maximum energy buff, so that's really cool.
Why yes it is, Mr. Recording Man. The entropy effect from the Synoid Simulor damages enemies within 25 meters with 1000 magnetic damage and a guaranteed status effect, whilst restoring 25% of players' energy and providing 25% bonus maximum energy for 30 seconds as well.
Yeah, I think going full AoE is the way to go, because this weapon, look at it, I mean, this thing was made to explode things and provide the most fabulous of fireworks whilst doing it. Oh, that was glorious. I'm glad that they put a nice damage buff onto the mod as well, because you know damn well if this came out a few years ago, there would not be a thing. It would just be like, oh, it explodes when it hits stuff now. Enjoy. People would be screeching on the forums that that's how it should have worked in the first place. Yeah, the single target's still ass. I think we have a build, so let's go wrap it up. So here is what we ended up with on the Synoid Simulor. We run Galvanized Chamber for a bunch of multi-shot, Rifle Elementalists for status damage, and since the punch through is locked at 0, the additional punch through from the Elementalists doesn't actually screw anything up. Then in the end we decided on Primed Firestorm to bolster the AoE potential on the weapon, rather than trying to fix the single target, which I don't think is all that plausible, because the single target is not going to be great no matter what you do. And of course we have to run the new Spontaneous Singularity augment. This makes the weapon feel a lot better, you don't have to worry about stacking the orbs, you just shoot and it goes boom. To top it all off, we run Primed Ground rounds and Thermite rounds for a big blast, and then Malignant Force and High Voltage for corrosive. I would also highly recommend Terminal Velocity in the Exiles for more range, and for the Arcane, we just run Primary Merciless. I did forget to take off my Arcane Avenger throughout the entire video, I just kept forgetting about it, but honestly it's a great way to squeeze a little bit of extra oomph out of the Synoid Simulor, so if you want to max it out, this is definitely a great Arcane to run. And finally, let's not forget about a good priming pet. I run a Hound, Good Boy Harold, that primes Code, Impact, Heat, Puncture, Radiation, Magnetic, and Vital. It's not as impactful here as it would be on another setup that runs Condition or Gundition Overload, where those status effects would actually increase the damage of your weapon, but it's still incredibly beneficial to have all these status effects on the enemies most of the time. This, like most of the Nightwave augments that came before it, is extremely cool and definitely worth picking up. It makes the Simulor into a much more enjoyable, more usable weapon. It does lose some of its uniqueness with the orb stacking and all that, but the Singularity still remains, so most of it is still there. Personally, I think running the Simulor with the augment is just a better experience. The single target is a bit questionable, and I don't think there is an easy way to fix it outside of some serious Warframe buffs, but the clear is absolutely tremendous, and it's a fabulous, fabulous light show. So yes, I would absolutely recommend you give this a shot. Slap it on Mirage, get a bright ass energy color, and go blind some noobs. And that's pretty much all I have for you today, so I thank you very much for watching, as always guys, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.